Hello and welcome to the Multiplayer Podcast Bonus Round. I'm your host Todd, and you've heard that right. It's Monday, and we're releasing a bonus round episode. For the next season, we're going to be bringing a new game review every other week, and we're also introducing the new weekly show, which we did just last week, This Week in Gaming. But before we jump into this week's bonus round episode, let me introduce my co-hosts, Paul.
Hey, guys. Good evening, everyone.
And Josh.
Bigger and better than before. The bonus round, not me. Although I am bigger still, but yes.
You're growing. You're growing, and we're proud of you.
The quarantine 15.
Not in the right way.
Oh, all right, guys. Before we jump into the show, we have an amazing announcement.
Ooh, huge.
The Multiplayer Gaming Podcast now has a Patreon.
What? Tell me more, Todd.
All right. So you guys might know we're an independent podcast that brings you great content multiple times a week. You can now help partner with us in creating that great content you know and love.
I know I love it.
And Paul knows it.
Absolutely. This is really exciting. This is kind of fun, being able to roll out a new Patreon. How exactly does that work, Todd?
Well, you go to Patreon and then you sign up. You tell the Mr. Patreon, I believe his name is, that you want to sign up.
Not to be confused with Mr.
podcast.
Peanut.
No, completely different.
Yeah.
We are not in any way to be affiliated with Mr. Peanut.
But they're both very dapper.
They both are very dapper. So about our Patreon, with us releasing a Patreon, we're also, we have the ability to open up a private Discord server now where you'll be able to talk and game with us. And you can finally let Paul and Josh know how amazing Halo truly is face to face.
Do those people exist? I'm not so sure.
They do. My family.
I read one review that said Halo
my mom.
bad.
I do remember that review.
Are people going to tell me to my face that Halo is bad?
I think
I'll
that
make a special
backfire.
channel for people that love Halo.
Just a Halo bad channel.
Yes.
No, please don't. I don't even want to entertain the idea. But for you to find the Patreon page, you can find the link on our website, multiplayerpodcast.com, or it will be in the description of this episode.
Smash that Patreon link.
Oh my goodness. Paul, is there a way to ban Paul from saying certain words?
No, it was great. It was great. That's what the kids say, right? Smash that Patreon link.
I don't know about you guys, but
our Patreon's fire, right? That's what the kids say these days.
It is lit. That's for sure.
It is lit. Everything about it's lit. But yeah, we're super excited to release it, and can't wait to see you guys on Discord.
I'm really excited to be able to have a Discord server where we can interact with people. I mean, there's a lot of times we need a fourth for playing a game, and our Discord is where we're going to look first when we need that.
Or sometimes we've been playing a little bit of the Forest, and that goes up to 8 players.
Yeah,
we could bring in another 5 people and just have chaos in the forest, and that would be hilarious.
As long as people are okay with me throwing Molotov cocktails on them, then that's okay.
Josh does
Paul
have a history.
Throwing axes just everywhere.
Yeah, it'll be fun to interact with the listeners, and also you guys can come ask questions. You can make suggestions for future episodes, submit questions we might read on the air. It'll be great. We're really excited to connect more with you guys.
Yeah, well, let's jump in to this week's bonus round. I have a fun bonus round episode for everyone tonight. It's a doozy. We're breaking down bracket style. Who will be the best video game dad?
This is going to get goofy. I can tell already.
I already know. I'm my own video game character, so I'm just nominating myself every round. But the way it's going to work is we're going to each pick 4 video game dads and then have them go head-to-head March Madness style until one dad is remaining. Essentially, it's a battle royale of
would you say it's
who's the best dad.
Data royale?
No, I would never say that.
No one should say that. So
data royale.
So yeah, we'll pick our characters old school draft style, match them up, and then we'll have a winning video game dad, and also the podcast host who picked them also wins. So one of us will be a winner, and the other two will be losers.
I am going to be the winner. Although we should make it known that we do actually we are going to agree on which dad moves into the next round.
Yes.
Or majority rules, I should say.
Yes, yeah. Majority rules.
Right.
It's gonna be tough, guys, but I'm excited. I flipped a coin ahead of time. It was a 3-headed coin. And Paul, you go first.
Yes, that 3-headed coin. So basically, we'll go 4 rounds. The draft order, which was randomized, is me, then Todd, then Josh, and we're going snake style. So in the second round, it'll be reversed. So that way it'll keep things fair. So I have the number 1 pick. And when I made a list of different characters, I feel like there's one guy who might be most people's first pick, but I'm not going that direction. I'm going another one. I am taking number 1 overall, Joel from The Last of Us. Now,
I mean, that's a solid pick.
Todd, you did finish The Last of Us, right?
No.
And Josh, I don't think got more than like half an hour into it.
I got about 28 minutes.
All right. So this might be a little bit of an uphill battle, but don't worry. I have plenty of arguments for Joel. You can lock him in. He is my number 1 pick.
I don't know everything about The Last of Us, but I have actually read a lot of the story on that, just knowing that I'll probably never play the games. So I know a lot about his character, and it's a good pick for sure.
I actually read he released a book on fatherhood.
It's in the game. You can actually find it as an Easter egg.
It's on the floor.
An Idiot's Guide to Fathering by Joel.
All right,
so Todd,
great pick,
you're up.
Paul. All right, I don't know if you guys have been thinking out of the box like I have. But he's I don't think he's a dad, but he would be a great father figure and a great parent. Going Reinhardt.
Okay.
Oh, he's on my list.
I thought about it.
I did not think you guys would take him.
I mean, he was a mentor to Brigitte, something like that. One of those names, Baguette.
Yeah.
And you know, he's a great all around guy. He's funny. He has catchphrases.
Yeah.
Or catchphrase.
It's a good pick.
Literally catchphrase.
He was in my top tier list, so
cool.
Good job.
Right.
But I get back-to-back picks now, and you fools.
I know both of Josh's picks. I guarantee I can guess them both, but I want to hear
Mario and Luigi.
I'm gonna
Pac-Man.
Okay, number 1, Kratos from God of War.
Yeah, I knew that would be one of them.
Of course.
Number 2.
But did you just call him Kratos?
I cannot believe. Yeah, Kratos, whatever.
It's Kratos.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Todd, how did you not go with Master Chief?
I was a little surprised Todd didn't go that way.
I know. I'm picking Master Chief as my second pick. That guy, he saves the galaxy. What kind
of... That dude without Cortana is a hot mess.
No, sir. Number 1, he's a hero. Number 2, he's a stud. Number 3, he saves the galaxy. Number 4, cool armor. What kid doesn't want to be able to play with the armor? You know, hey, Dad, can I wear your helmet? Hey, Dad, Master Chief.
Selfish.
Can I wear your helmet? Can I try on your cool armor? Can I fire
Josh,
your battle rifle?
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah. But I'm liking my draft so far.
Anything that gets Josh to defend Halo, I'm for. I want to hear it.
This is gonna be a bizarre episode. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah.
All right, my pick. Harry Mason from Silent Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought about him too.
I mean, the dude just goes headfirst into Bizarro world to find his daughter. I mean, he's putting his life on the line, and those dudes with the triangles on their heads are creepy, and he kept going on.
Yeah, he goes through a lot to save his daughter.
I never really played Silent Hill, so I'll just have to rely on you guys kind of giving me relevant info there.
You didn't even watch the movie, Paul?
Nope, never saw the movie either.
Oh, Silent Hill was great.
All right, so
Creepy.
Harry Mason. That's very close to Perry Mason. I wonder why.
I know, that's what I thought he went with
so
at
close.
first, and then I was like, wow, you dork.
And I'm drafting, Perry Mason. All right, so with my back-to-back picks here, the first one that I'm going with is Ethan from Heavy Rain.
Paul.
I knew this was coming. I saw this
Of
a mile
course.
away.
I can't wait to tear this pick apart later.
Oh, I already wrote down your possible cons, and I'm prepared to defend them for why they're strengths. So Ethan from Heavy Rain, excellent father. I love pairing him with Joel, because they're both actual fathers. So that's got to count for something. And then with my other back-to-back, boy, I'm looking at my lists, and I got a whole lot of options here. But you know what? I am gonna go with the elusive man from Mass Effect 2.
What?
I don't know who
That's
that
the
is.
guy that sits in the
I
shadowy
know Todd
chair.
doesn't know.
Right? Isn't that the guy that sits
Yeah.
in the shadowy chair with like the galaxy at his back?
Yes. So he might be the villain from Mass Effect 3, a secondary villain. But I'm going to go with the elusive man, voiced by Martin Sheen. That's what I'm going with in round 3.
Wow.
All right.
You guys are terrible at this game. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Todd.
I'm gonna about to win it here with my number 3 pick. Are you guys ready?
Sure. What you got?
Bowser.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
Bowser on. I actually
you
had
do
Bowser on the
Fantastic
list.
Bowser.
Get out of here. That's
Yeah, I could
That's
make some
ridiculous.
seriously good arguments for Bowser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
He cares.
He employs the greatest castle designers known to man.
Yeah, and have you seen all the cool toys his son has?
Flying.
Going through the
Pods.
games, yeah, it's so many cool toys. He's always there for his son. And yeah, there's no downsides.
Sure. All right, Bowser. It is. I'm curious to see who he goes up against. I can't wait to hear it. So now we go back to Josh. Josh, you get your last 2 picks here.
I get
You
back
still
to
got
backs,
plenty on the
huh?
board.
Oh man, okay. I have 2. One of these might catch you guys by surprise a little bit. I am gonna go with the Big Daddy from Bioshock.
Okay.
Now you guys know who the Big Daddies are, right? The machines that the little girls ride on,
and like walk around holding their hands and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
In Bioshock.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Todd, let me guess, you never played Bioshock.
1, I've never played Bioshock. 2, you can't it sounds like multiple dads.
Technically not a person, and technically, yeah.
They qualify.
That's kind
they
of
literally are called Big Daddies, so I'm pretty
Okay,
sure they
all
qualify for a father figure draft.
Best gaming dad, not best category of dads.
that's
Come
right,
on,
Todd.
Josh.
We'll just vote it out as
Yeah.
soon as possible.
I would like to.
I'm
I would
good
like
with
to
that.
put this number 1: strong silent type.
He's
Give their
losing to
lives
Bowser.
for their kids, right? They care. They're loving. They're
Yep.
strong and tough. You're not going to mess with them.
This is
All right.
Josh's worst take since Sea of Thieves is
wait.
good.
It's a great take. You will eat them words, buddy.
Man.
The fans will defend me. And then
All right.
last,
Josh, you're not going to let your favorite hero of all time slip through, are you?
Oh no, of course not. That's why. But
Okay.
I had to get
So this
the
is your
one
last
off
pick.
on there, and then Geralt of Rivia.
Sure. You knew
As
Todd and I
my
weren't going to
final.
take him.
Yeah, I know. That's why I saved him for last.
Who?
Todd, you kill The Witcher, Todd. The Witcher.
Oh, why didn't you start with that?
Cat
His
Eyes,
name is Geralt.
Monster Hunter.
of Rivia. Because that's his name. He's a person, Todd, okay?
Okay.
He's not just a piece of meat, that slays monsters all the time. But once again, strong, cool. I mean, he was a dad to Ciri in the games. And,
Sure.
He went to the ends of the earth to get her back.
Famously portrayed by Henry Cavill in the Netflix show.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt either. So, there you go. Man, I got a good team, guys.
This is going to be a dark horse. Are you guys ready?
Waluigi.
Unnamed dad from the game Who's Your Daddy?
What?
I don't even know what that is.
I know you guys wouldn't. Here, I'm gonna send you a link. It is a video game.
It's a virus. Don't click it, Paul.
Yeah, it's a virus. Please click it. I instantly win. It's a video game where the purpose of the video game
I know this game.
is to go through the house and baby-proof the house, and player 2 plays the baby and tries to
commit suicide.
Get into trouble. I was going to put it lighter than that.
Yeah, the baby gets in trouble. I've watched a lot of footage of this game, but I have not actually played it. I think he got an uphill battle defending him, but I hear you.
Are you kidding me? He spends all of his
have
days
a name
in a loop, just trying to save his child's life.
Can we refer to him as he who shall not be named?
No, it's not Voldemort.
Well, but he doesn't have a name, Todd.
It's unnamed dad. That's his name.
All right.
Or Who's Your Daddy? You can just call him. You can just call him Who's Your Daddy.
All right, and then I get the last.
I feel good about that one.
Oh, do you?
Sorry,
you shouldn't. All right, and then my last pick here is good old cowboy himself, John Marston from Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's a good pick.
Overrated.
I mean, man, that guy does a lot for his family.
Does he?
He's also a real father. So,
and he gives his life for his family. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
From Red Dead Redemption 1, which is 15 years old now.
Yeah, I gotta
Did he child-proof anything? That's all I want to know. Did he care enough to child-proof anything? Doubt it.
No, because he let his son learn his lessons the hard way, Todd.
You know who's your... we're not getting into this, but... All right, never mind. I'm saving my talking points.
All right, who's your last pick, Todd?
All right. No, Todd's already picked all
we're
four.
Done.
That's it. We're done.
That was it? Oh. Wow. I don't even remember all of Todd's picks. That's a good sign.
Well, you should have the spreadsheet open and you can always look at them.
Oh.
There you go. Oh, okay. Yes. So basically to summarize, I have Joel from The Last of Us, Ethan from Heavy Rain, the elusive man from Mass Effect, and John Marston from Red Dead Redemption. Todd's got Reinhardt from Overwatch, Harry Mason from Silent Hill, Bowser from Nintendo, and the unnamed father from Who's Your Daddy. Josh bringing up the rear with Kratos from God of War, Master Chief from Halo, Big Daddy from Bioshock, and Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher. So there we go.
All right.
I'm happy with my team.
Match 1, round 1.
Yeah, match 1, round 1. The lineup is Joel from The Last of Us versus unnamed father from Who's Your Daddy. All right, so I don't know how long this debate will actually be, but I think maybe, Todd, should you and I just give a short pitch for each of our picks?
Yeah, I feel like you need to go first because it's going to be easier for me.
Okay, so Joel from The Last of Us, first of all, real life father, okay? Does his daughter die in the beginning of The Last of Us? Yes. Okay. He was not able to totally protect her in the beginning, but
doesn't sound like a good dad.
But he develops an adoptive daughter relationship with Ellie throughout the course of all of The Last of Us. He protects her from the infected. And for those of you, spoiler alert, who haven't played The Last of Us, it turns out that Ellie has immunity to the infection. And the Fireflies are going to use her to develop a vaccine, but it will take her life. So what does Joel do? He busts into the hospital. He murders all the scientists. He kills all the researchers, the head surgeon, all of his old buddies, and then carries her out of that hospital, saving her life. He was willing to let the world burn to protect that girl that he loved immensely. So, terrible person, maybe? Excellent father,
in that vein,
absolutely.
Did he not just doom humanity by
Absolutely.
taking away their chance for a cure?
Because he loved that girl so much that he was willing to let others
he
die.
did the trolley problem the wrong way.
I'm ready to hear.
That is not the right answer in the trolley problem. All right, Josh, because let's face it, I'm voting for my own guy. Paul's voting for his own guy. I'm pitching to Josh here.
Yeah.
Josh, dude replaced his daughter with some random girl and then destroyed the world.
Yeah, that's
doesn't make sense.
That's the big thing I have.
But he's a good dad. He's a bad person, but he is an excellent dad.
You know, it's a great attribute in a dad.
I got
being
my
a good person.
Here. I got my decision.
Wait, I haven't even said a named father from who's your daddy.
And I also have a counterpoint to Todd's point. But go ahead, Todd.
Oh, jeez. All right. The dude spends his whole life. He stays at home. He doesn't go to work.
So he's lazy.
He stays home.
Okay. Lazy dad.
Can't provide.
Yeah.
He protects his family. He runs around his house and baby-proofs the house.
Okay, counterpoint. One, do you know how many times
Todd was going
I've
to keep
seen...
going, and that was all he said.
No, that's all he's got. First of all, do you know how many times I've seen his child die just in watching other streamers? I've seen people like PewDiePie play this game, and I've seen his children die 1,000 times over. Also, he's such a poor father, he can't even teach his child how to behave properly. This child just runs around the house amok trying to kill itself.
All right. We got to speed this up because we're going to be here forever. I've got my answer.
All right, Josh, decide correctly.
When I think of my dad, and I think, would I want my dad to save humanity or just say, forget the world and save me?
Or replace you with another child.
Right,
sure.
or replace me. When I think about that, it's kind of a deal breaker. But not really, because I'm going with Joel from The Last of Us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you
Absolutely
kidding me?
It's the right pick.
He gives up the world to save his child. That's such a noble thing to do. I mean, terrible, but noble at the same time.
No. All right. We'll see how the next round goes.
And your daddy didn't have a name, so...
Who's your daddy, Josh?
Yeah.
That's what his name was.
He
was very upfront about that. All right.
So second matchup here is going to be Todd v. Josh. It's Reinhardt from Overwatch versus Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher.
Ooh. I mean, we've all played Overwatch. We know the influence that Reinhardt had on Brigitte. He was the father figure, the protector over Brigitte. Like he took her under his wing and raised her.
Counterpoint. He staggers around and crashes into walls all the time.
He's always drunk on beer.
Brigitte has to constantly fix his armor and tote it around. That's all you ever hear in Overwatch is how they're talking about his armor. He's really old. And
he's not really old.
He's like old and gray, man. He hurts his back in his play of the game pose.
He's got great hair, though.
Whereas Geralt of Rivia is super cool. The ladies dig him. He's got potions. He's got cool weapons. He's got magic. He goes to the ends of the earth and fights the wild hunt to save his daughter. He's got a cool voice. He's had a movie made after him, or a series on Netflix made after him. You don't get much cooler than that.
All right. You want me to
He's
deliver?
a murderer. He's a straight up murderer. I don't.
You telling me Reinhardt doesn't smash people with his hammer?
That is in war. He is a brave
There's a big
soldier.
war going on in The Witcher.
So you could lie to me because I know nothing about The Witcher, but you're saying he belongs to an army?
He stays apart from the armies because
cause?
he's an honorable man. He does not choose sides.
All right.
Okay. All right,
Paul.
The judge's verdict is in. And when I think of this, I just think if I had to leave my children in the care of Reinhardt or Geralt,
don't say that.
all I got for you is honor, justice, Reinhardt.
That's
there we go.
Man. Yeah, well, you have fun
Reinhardt's
toting his
winner.
armor around everywhere. And that big heavy hammer.
All right, next round. Kratos from God of War versus John Marston from Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2.
I'll let you go first, Josh. Present your case.
Well, I have to explain this to Todd, since Todd has never played God of War.
Boy.
Yeah, boy. Come here.
He doesn't even know his name, Josh. You need a...
It's Atreus. He knows his name. He just calls him boy because, that's
because he's
they
emotionally
have that bond,
distant.
It's So number one,
that was the
takes
best
him
subtle thing to slip in there, Paul.
takes him
Thank you.
everywhere with him, never leaves him.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have such a good bond that they never want to be apart. He fights gods to protect him. He teaches him stuff the whole time during the game. They're constantly talking, and he's teaching him the ways of the world, like any good dad should. Keeps him safe. Even though he doesn't vocalize it a lot, he really does love him too, because that's what the whole game is about.
Josh, would you like to tell Todd who his son becomes? He does such a great job fathering this child. Who does he become?
Yeah, well, that's because of the giants. I mean, he might become Loki. Loki.
Loki?
What are you trying to say? What? That's judgmental
Loki.
of you, Paul. Just because he's the god of mischief. How
He does
dare
such
you
a great
judge
job
a small
fathering his
child?
son by being so emotionally distant that his son barely knows him over the course of the game and turns into the god of mischief. Famously in the Avengers movies. This is not a good guy.
His son loves him a lot in that game. He idolizes his dad.
All right. So
Wait,
I know...
Isn't Thor his brother? Did he not parent Thor?
Adopted
I'm
brother.
very confused.
Yes. In the
All right.
Avengers movie, yes.
Yeah, there's
Loki
a little bit
is
of
the adoptive brother.
canon between that. Yeah.
I don't
but
know
not
the canon
in
Norse
not
mythology.
in God of War.
Not in God of War. No.
All
I
right.
don't think so. All right. So I know I have an uphill battle here with John Marston, but I'll just quickly touch on a couple things. He's really polite. Okay. He never calls Bonnie in Red Dead Redemption. He calls her Ms. McFarland the whole time. So he's very respectful. He's a good role model for his son. Also, he got to see Arthur Morgan's, moral journey from Red Dead Redemption 2, which is the prequel. He gets to learn from Arthur's mistakes. And, he's got a little bit of a rocky past, but moving forward, he's an honorable man. He's there to be a good role model. He spends time with his son working the fields, and he provides and is an excellent father. He's very much more emotionally bonded to his son than Kratos was.
He's only a good dad at the very end of the game. And then, even then, he's only a good dad because he sacrifices himself so that his family can run away.
He's a great father all of Red Dead Redemption 1. The whole point of the game is that his family got kidnapped, and he's doing all of those things to get his wife and son back.
I think the whole point of the game is cowboys are awesome.
Mm-hmm. Would you rather your dad be a cowboy or a
a
frightening god who doesn't even know your name?
or just one of the toughest, coolest gods ever? That's a tough call. All right, Todd.
Boy.
Yeah,
Come,
good choice.
Come hither. I don't know what he
choice.
says.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That was pretty good, actually.
Sorry.
Boy.
I've been practicing in the
That was
mirror.
good. That was very manly
Thanks.
sounding, Todd. I got to butter Todd up for these next rounds.
Sure.
I'm not beneath that, so. All right.
So it should be pointed out, everyone from the first round has won so far.
As well they should.
One
Joel,
of each?
Reinhardt, and Kratos. Yeah. All
That's
of our
good.
first
Yeah.
round picks won.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure that's how first round picks are supposed to go.
No upsets.
So that's good.
I felt like John Marston might have been close, but all right.
I thought Who's Your Daddy was close.
That's preposterous.
I felt Josh going back and forth, but that's neither here nor there. We know what happened, and I'm okay with it. So round 2.
Well, still round 1, but the latter half of round 1. And these are 2 characters that couldn't be more similar. Master Chief from Halo versus Bowser from Nintendo. Take it away, fellas, because I don't even know how you're going to defend these.
Josh, you have more to prove than I do.
Oh, is that so? Okay. Well, my guy's not a villain, number 1, who steals females. Bowser has a history of kidnapping the fair sex, so number 1,
the Me Too
huge strike
movement
against him right there.
Would not be kind to Bowser.
Yeah.
Anti-Bowser, for sure.
And like I said in the beginning when I picked him, Master Chief is just the hero dad that every kid wants and looks up to and wants to be able to say, my dad saved the universe. He's strong. He's the quiet, kind of calm, quiet dad. You don't ever see him yelling at his kids like Bowser would, where Bowser's just roaring at the Bowser Jr. because he failed again.
Does that ever happen?
Yes.
In the game?
Many times. Bowser freaks out because his kids don't stop the Mario.
Master Chief is rogue. He doesn't listen to the commander. He doesn't follow protocol. He goes off on his own, and he just causes mayhem and mischief.
To save the world, which is what I would want my dad to do, is not cave to authority just because it's authority.
He puts his life in danger because he's a thrill seeker, and he's not even a dad. All right. Bowser, let me put it this way. Single father, raising a kid on his own.
Oh, several kids.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo. He's got 8 of them.
Kids, yeah.
Superstar father. Thanks, Paul.
They each have their own castle. I thought this was going to be your argument.
And yeah, it is. Thanks for arguing it for me.
Uh-huh.
And he's training them in the family business, and this is the point that I want to
princess kidnapping.
I want to focus on.
Is that the family business?
It's an
honest living.
If it makes money, it's profitable enough to own several castles. So you tell me. But anyways, he's raising all these kids by himself. He's trying his hardest. He's trying to make money for all of them to have a living. And what is he doing on top of that? He's empowering his kids to be their own people. And he's training them in the family business. But when they fail, does he abandon them and send them off to jail or juvie? Or no. He pulls them back, takes care of them, and then he lets them try again.
All right. I am going to award the winner to Master Chief for one reason.
Come on. This is shenanigans.
Bowser had the gall to name one of his children Ludwig von Koopa, and I'm not going to let that stand.
Yeah,
it goes to Master
naming.
Chief.
Yes.
Oh.
I could have made a much better.
Doing this.
I could have made a much better pitch on Bowser.
You are doing this to spite me, and I can tell it in both of your eyes.
He just put Halo through, Todd. You should be happy.
Oh my goodness, get out of here. Next round. Harry Mason from Silent Hill versus the elusive man from Mass Effect 2 and 3. I have no idea who that guy is, so I'm excited to hear Paul.
Sure. All right, the elusive man. He's incredibly wealthy. All right, he's able to provide for his kids. They will have generational wealth. All right, they will never want for anything. The elusive man is also very pro-human. All right, so you might be able to spin that in a negative way if you're an alien race.
Pro-human, like a outstanding quality.
He is He is going to protect humans above all other alien races. Okay. Does that make him prejudiced? Okay, maybe. But he will care for any child of his own because he's very pro-human in running Cerberus.
How many times do you have to say pro-human for you to believe it, Paul? Because it sounds like a lot.
All right. We'll go a different path. He's very confident. He has a lot of swagger. All right. He's very smart. And also, he is aware of threats to humanity and threats to himself and his organization before anybody else is. So he's got connections everywhere, and he's going to be able to protect that child with all that he has. All right, and there are no counter arguments to be made to the elusive man. He's an excellent father, and there's nothing else that you ever would need to know about him.
So I don't know anything else about him, but it sounds like there's a giant downside that Paul's leaving out.
He's super evil too. So,
also let me talk about Harry Mason from Silent Hill. He is, I want to point out specifically, very pro-human. There is nothing in Silent Hill that leads anyone to believe he's anti-human. So he is very pro-human. Actually, the idea of other aliens existing doesn't even happen. He doesn't even worry about it. That's how.
So he's not prepared.
He is.
He's not prepared for the intergalactic war that's coming.
Okay, that's in your mind, Paul. I mean, I don't. It's simple. This is a simple choice. Like his daughter went missing, and he ran head first into the mystery of and horror of Silent Hill. And when he could turn around, he didn't. He kept on pushing.
All right. I think I know my answer on this one.
And he brought it. I believe he brought his daughter to safety, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, he
not
saves
only
her
did he
from
go
the
in there,
crazy, scary gods from Silent Hill.
Yeah, he saved her. He actually did it, guys.
All right.
And he's pro-human.
He's not as pro-human as the elusive man.
I thought this was going to be a more difficult choice. But Paul made a pretty good argument for the elusive man.
Yeah, he did.
And then I'm like, do I want a dad that is going to set me up for multiple generations and is pro-human? Or do I want a guy that just happened to survive some scary hotel? You know? And the tiebreaker on this is the guy with two first names, Harry Mason.
Harry Mason.
There we go.
Yep.
It's like the elusive is a terrible first name.
Yeah.
His first name is the middle name elusive. Last name man.
All right.
Fair enough. I don't know if you saw, but I entered Harry Mason like 6 minutes ago, so I had a feeling that was going to be the winner.
I did see that.
When you kept on saying human, like pro-human, I knew you didn't have much. All right.
Sure.
Last
match of round
group,
one.
Yeah, last match of round one. Ethan from Heavy Rain versus Big Daddy from Bioshock.
All right. Can I just disparage Paul's pick right away?
Oh, yep, go for it.
Okay.
Is it going to start with the fact that his first son dies in the opening scene of
yes.
Heavy Rain?
Okay, so it's number one, his first son dies in the opening sequence. Number two, his second son gets kidnapped because he's not paying attention to his son at the park.
So, he blacks out.
Well, okay, yeah, that's better. He blacks out while his son is at the park.
Why does he black out, Paul?
Because of the trauma of his first son's death. He's been suffering from blackouts. But go ahead, Josh. Go ahead. Keep disparaging
or some
Father
might
of
say
the Year.
drug abuse or, alcoholism or something like that. He makes terrible choices all the time.
Like what?
Chasing people through the rain, driving, super fast through the rain and crashing into cars.
Okay.
Cutting off his limbs. The story is replete with poor choices by Ethan from Heavy Rain. I would not. Funny story. That guy is actually on multiple lists of top 10 worst dads in video games.
He is on lists of top dads. I've seen that too. Okay, do I get to defend Ethan now? Okay, number one.
Go for it.
Okay. Okay, Josh mentioned that Ethan cuts off a limb and drives the wrong way in traffic. Why is Ethan doing this? Because his son has been kidnapped. Ethan has already lost his first son. His son ran off. Okay, it was not Ethan's fault. His son ran away chasing a balloon and he got hit by a car. Okay, you can't hold that against Ethan. That could happen to anybody. All right? Most parents at some point have lost sight of their kids. You can't hold it against them. Now, Ethan's son gets kidnapped, and I'm going to read to you a list of the things Ethan does to get his son back, because the ransom notes say if you don't do this, your son will die. All right, I got my list here. Let me pull it up.
Be pro-human.
He's pro-human. All right, here's what Ethan does. He races down the opposite side of a highway. He crawls through broken glass and electrical pylons getting shocked. He cuts off his own finger. He kills a drug dealer, and he drinks poison on air to save his son. And you know what? In my canon playthrough of Heavy Rain, it's successful. He goes, he gets his son back. And you know what? If you were going to argue against him being a bad dad, I'm surprised you didn't pull up him not giving his son a snack and making him go to bed early.
He forgets to feed him.
He forgets to feed him on occasion. But you know what? He went out and he saved his son. Okay, does Ethan think he might be the serial killer because he has blackouts and he's afraid he might be writing ransom notes to himself? Yes. But he successfully carries out all those objectives and gets his son back. So, Ethan, all the way.
Yeah. Or I could just explain that my pick is the dad that is really peaceful and kind and silent and is the constant protector of his child, does not
he has a
neglect
drill
him
for an arm.
or
drill
leave
for an
him.
arm. Terrifying.
The big daddies absolutely never leave the side of the little girls ever. They are peaceful.
I have a couple questions.
All right.
Is there a person inside of the suit?
We don't know. The lore is that there was a person inside at some point, but then over time in the chaos of Bioshock that they've become more like machine than man.
And then with a drill for an arm, how do they wipe?
Their other arm.
Let's just say Wikipedia says that they don't talk. They make low-pitched groaning noises similar to whales. How is that person going to raise a child?
They raise them very well. Have you played Bioshock?
I have.
Yeah, and they're peaceful. The thing is, the thing with the big daddies is they're not murderous killers like Ethan is, or people suspect that he is. You know, they don't mess with you unless you mess with them first. They only attack if you try to get the little girls, the little sisters.
A dad who saves his son, or literal monsters. Todd, the choice is yours.
That actually protects their children.
Josh.
And doesn't lose them.
Josh, you I'm sorry. You lost me at the beginning when you're like,
it's because you haven't played Bioshock, Todd. You're picking a dad that lost 2 kids.
Let me Let me go to the beginning. I'm not saying he's a great dad. I'm just saying he's a father dad. And not just like humans. Like, should I have picked humans because humans have a lot of fathers in it?
Todd, so you yourself thinking outside the box.
If we go back, we said, what is the best video game father?
And you would rather Ethan.
So wait, you're
dad.
saying that it has to be a biological father, Todd?
No, I'm not.
Well,
I'm just
there
saying
you go.
It has to be
because
a single
I fully
person.
admit that a big daddy is not a biological father, but they are a great father figure.
If you would have said Dan, who is a big daddy, I'd be like, Dan, I could buy into Dan. But you just say all the big daddies?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Is that
do you have
right
to call
Bioshock?
Him Big Daddy if he's your dad?
Could you call him Big Papa?
You could.
Could you throw your hands in the air like you don't care?
The little sisters call him their, protector, friend, dad,
So Ethan's the winner, Todd?
Ethan's the winner.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Josh.
I
Justice.
cannot believe
It might be a
one
technicality,
of the worst
but at
dads
this
in video
point,
games.
at this point, Josh, you lost on a technicality. Like,
I'll take it.
I'm sorry.
Even
Look,
Paul didn't think he would win that.
We
Look
all
at him;
know
he's so
Ethan-
surprised now.
Ethan might be a round one winner. Okay, I don't have any aspirations of Ethan making it beyond round two.
It's okay because the listeners will back me up on this.
You had 6 people on the court. Even though you won, you lost.
The Big Daddy is like it's a generic term for It's okay.
Yeah, so
All
like
right.
they couldn't do wrong because you'd be
listeners
like,
know.
oh, that's
The
that
listeners
specific
All right.
one.
What's up next?
All right, so
All right,
now
round
we are
2.
Yep.
We got through round 1, yeah.
done with round one. We're down to 6 remaining video game dad figures.
Paul, what are the 6?
We have Joel from The Last of Us, Reinhardt from Overwatch, Kratos from God of War, Ethan from Heavy Rain, Harry Mason from Silent Hill, and Master Chief from Halo. I think everyone knows what games these guys are in now, so I'll just refer to them by first names. So
All
round
right.
2, I think this is going to go a lot quicker. We've already kind of made the initial case, but this round just so happens that we have a lot of our own guys facing our other picks. So we're going to start it out round 2 with Joel versus Ethan.
Ooh.
Aren't those the name of the Coen brothers, by the way? Joel and Ethan? I think it is. But in any
That's pretty
case,
funny.
what do you guys think, Joel or Ethan?
I'm
It
going
has to be
Joel
Joel.
100% because Ethan was
All
a terrible, terrible choice.
I'm cool
that somehow
with that.
made it to this round and deserves to make it no further.
This is not to disparage Ethan, who is Father of the Year runner-up. It's just that I'm so pro Joel that I'm cool with it.
All right. Round 2, match 2, Reinhardt versus Harry Mason from Silent Hill.
Ooh.
I mean, what do you guys think? I could go either way.
Man, that's a tough one. I want to, my gut says Reinhardt just from recency bias because we've played a lot more Overwatch in the last 4 or 5 years than we have Silent Hill. But man,
I
Harry Mason really went through
Harry
a lot
Mason
to save his kid.
because he can. If he went up against Joel, I could easily just say, "Well, my dude saved his daughter,"
Ooh.
and then
Ouch.
that's like the trump card that you just throw down
Because of his daughter dying in the beginning of The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not his fault.
It was.
I think I'm gonna say Reinhardt. He just seems like he'd be a cooler dad.
It's definitely the more noble of choices.
Yeah, like Harry Mason went through a lot, but there's not a lot about him where I'd go like, man, I wish that guy was my dad. Whereas Reinhardt, I'm like, it'd be super cool to have Reinhardt as a dad.
Yeah, and if you go back to like Paul's saying of who would you rather leave your kid with, it's like Reinhardt, who's a stand-up guy, versus Harry Mason, where he might lose your kid and he might end up in who knows where, but he's getting them back.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to just leave him with the Reinhardt.
Josh sold me with Reinhardt having the cool dad factor, so we're going to let Reinhardt move on. And then we have Josh's 2 against each other. Kratos from
That's
God of
funny
War
how this ended
versus
up.
Master Chief.
All right. I feel like it has to be Kratos, right?
That would be my choice.
Yeah, it has to be Kratos. I can't think of a good reason to say Master Chief.
Kratos is just cooler all around. Todd's struggling. He really wants to find a reason to say Master Chief, but
I was just thinking if it was Bowser versus Kratos, I don't know.
Yeah, it might be Bowser at that point. All right,
man, guys.
So those are easy choices.
This is the problem.
What do we do? We have 3 left.
I know. This is the problem of having a 12-person bracket because all of us have one character left, and I think all of us would probably vote for ourselves. Joel, Reinhardt, and Kratos. So I think we just briefly have to break it down.
There's one of these 3 that I would say does not belong.
Well, I think we just have to break it down 1v1, so we can do this very quickly. Joel versus Reinhardt. I vote Joel.
I vote Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
Oh, dang it.
Boom. All right. So then it's really Reinhardt versus Kratos.
No, well, maybe.
All right. Kratos versus Joel.
Yeah, Kratos versus Joel.
Kratos.
Joel.
No.
Joel is there emotionally. Kratos
Oh
just physically protects. He offers nothing else.
He does more than just physically protects him. He loves that kid. Do you see what he goes through for that child?
Is being a god family business?
Yeah, that's why he protects his son.
He brings him into the family business.
I mean, yes, he protects.
Paul, I'm sorry.
All right, Kratos. That's cool. All right, so then the final round is easy then. It's just Reinhardt v. Kratos.
Reinhardt. That's easy.
It's Kratos all day, every day.
Reinhardt is there. Reinhardt.
Okay, you want to talk about noble. Okay, Kratos is just as noble, if not more so than Reinhardt, because he protects the world. Not only his son, but the world.
Kratos also, he's got a sketchy past.
Yeah, but
Reinhardt does not.
He's redeemed
Reinhardt is
from
a leader.
that, man. That's the whole point. Is he's like, I had a bad past.
He's
Reinhardt
crippled.
was killing Bastion
He's emotionally
units left and right.
crippled.
Okay,
Computers.
Bastion is a very kind-hearted soul.
No worse than smacking copiers.
And even
which we've
Reinhardt
all
says
done.
that he's ashamed of some of the things that they had to do during the war.
I honestly can't believe I'm going to say this because he was nowhere on my list of people to draft, but it's going to go to Reinhardt.
Oh my goodness,
and
guys.
I can't believe
I
it.
won.
Are you kidding me?
I can't believe I won.
If you said, what are the odds of Reinhardt winning this draft? I would have said 10,000 to 1. I never would have thought.
Boom.
I don't think Kratos is a good father.
Because he's a great dad.
No.
He's really
not.
He's really not. He physically protects, but that's it.
So Paul,
he might
you
be
locked that in. You
now
locked
that
that
I've
in,
lost,
correct?
I might be able to admit that maybe he's slightly emotionally shallow.
I did have an Overwatch character written down, and it was Winston. Winston is the one I was going to
thought
pitch.
about him, but I was like, man,
Reinhardt was not on my list.
I was like, I don't know. If
I thought about Torb, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go Reinhardt.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I did. And one interesting thing, I don't think Reinhardt's a father.
No, but he has a father figure already.
Yeah. I
would have legit taken Reinhardt at my second pick. So it's a good thing you took him when you did.
He was nowhere on my radar. This one really came out of nowhere for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had to pivot to the Big Daddy, because Todd stole Reinhardt.
Can we all agree that Bowser is the worst on this list?
Come on. All right, so
I can make
Bowser
a
and
much better
daddy,
argument
you're
for
gonna
Bowser.
say Bowser's the worst?
That's true. You did pick the worst dad, Paul.
For which one? You were both talking at the same time. Who?
Ethan from Heavy Rain.
Oh,
is a terrible father.
No, Ethan, no. He will not be stopped at anything. The man chopped off his own finger for his child. You got to give it to him. I'll defend Heavy Rain till the day I die.
All right, guys. Well, that is the podcast for today. Please let us know if you disagree if Reinhardt is the best father figure in gaming. We'd love to know. Or if you have another pick that we don't know about that you think should be thrown in the ring, hit us up on Twitter at multiplayerpod. We are releasing our Patreon, like we said at the top of the show. So we appreciate it if you could go to the Patreon and sign up for one of the tiers. It would really mean a lot, and it would really support the show. You can find the link in the podcast description or by going to multiplayerpodcast.com. Next week, guys, what game are we playing?
I thought we were doing The Forest.
I think we're doing The Forest.
We're doing The Forest, and I'm excited.
Yeah. We just got to get past the beginning. We played some the other night, but it was off to a slow start. It picks up a lot. But
it gets weird. It gets fun.
Yeah.
Like,
it breaks that wall.
It gets spooky.
Yeah.
I'm into spooky games right now. Josh gets Molotov-y. I don't know if the game does.
I only threw a Molotov on you because you smashed me in the face with your axe.
Todd tries building.
We wanted to see if there was friendly fire.
Oh man, we spent 20 minutes building that stupid log cabin that Todd blueprinted out.
But now we have an awesome log cabin, guys.
Yeah, that's 3 miles away from where we are.
Yeah. Well, to listen to that podcast, you can subscribe to our podcast on your podcasting app. You can view all of our leaderboard rankings at multiplayerpodcast.com. I'm just stalling for time. I don't know why. I love you guys.
Love you too, Todd.
Thanks for listening. Come check us out on Patreon.
See you next
people.
week.
Yeah. Honestly, Patreon's going to rock. It's going to be great to be able to interact with people on a much more frequent basis.
And it'll let us keep pumping out this content for you guys, family-friendly gaming talk that you can listen to at work or with your kids in the car, and we'd love to keep doing it, so come check it out.
Yep. Awesome.
See you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.